Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Summerhour. We start off with your business news, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability. Southern Nevada house prices dropped again last month as local and national buyers pull back amid higher borrowing costs. Home prices decreased more than $40,000 from the record high of $482,000 in May, and higher mortgage rates have shrunk the buyer pool, which has led to increased inventory and ultimately lower sales prices.
Sales totals are way down from what they were last year. Home prices have tumbled. Inventory is way up. It's more than doubled over the last year. And all this comes as mortgage rates have seen a sharp increase this year.
And Tilman Fertitta demolished an old motel on the Strip, making room for the 43-story upscale resort approved by the Clark County Commission last month. Along with the approval, the county issued 3 demolition permits to tear down buildings on his 6-acre plot of land, which includes the former Travel Lodge Motel and Tex-Mex Tequila Bar and Grill, and a cluster of now closed retail spaces. There are no updates on the demolition plans for the remaining buildings at this time. Now to your top stories, brought to you by Nevada Hands Silver Sky Assisted Living Community. Learn more at nevadahand.org. A Las Vegas couple was sentenced to prison for child abuse and neglect in the death of their disabled son. 14-year-old Evan Bush suffers from Zubair syndrome, where the brain fails to develop. At the time of his death, the boy weighed only 22 pounds, but the Clark County Coroner's Office didn't rule his death a homicide. He died from a twisted intestine, but malnutrition was cited as a contributing factor. Kristen and James Bush were ordered to serve at least 28 to 120 months behind bars. And as votes are still being counted, election officials remind the public to remain patient during this election process.
I think the most important thing, and this was stressed to me by the election officials, is that you need to be patient. They are tabulating those votes. They are counting the mail-in ballots. It's a very long, extensive process that they want to get right. Official results most likely won't be available for another 2 weeks when the Supreme Court certifies the votes. And although election numbers haven't changed much as of yesterday, these are the current standings. Adam Laxalt is still hanging on to a close lead over Catherine Cortez Masto for the Senate. Congressional races show incumbent Nita Titus with a lead over challenger Mark Robertson, and both Stephen Horsford and Susie Lee a few percentage points ahead of their opponents for House district seats, with Lee leading by a narrow margin of slightly over 1%. And for the race for governor, Joe Lombardo remains about 5 percentage points ahead of Steve Sisolak. Follow all of the results at lvrj.com. After reportedly being neglected in the past, a new federal funding could help improve small businesses on the historic West Side. Review Journal's Jen Ah tells us how.
The nonprofit Nevada Partners in North Las Vegas and UNLV are working together to launch this 2-year, $2.1 million grant early next year. Historically known as the core of the Las Vegas Black community, UNLV's VP of Economic Development says this grant hopes to help hospitality and tourism-related companies in the historic West Side. Miles Bunch grew up in the Vegas' historic West Side, and now he runs the Edible Bunch with his wife, a mobile plant-based food stand at local farmers markets and events. However, he tells us it just doesn't seem like we get the same opportunity funding-wise as from other sides of town. His goal to open a brick-and-mortar location. Nevada Partners project manager says this grant could help small business owners like Miles Bunch cover wraparound services such as childcare and transportation costs. For more info, visit nvpartners.org.
Now for your weather report, brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing. Sunny with a high of near 60 degrees is forecasted for your Thursday. Light winds at about 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear skies and light winds. Lows in the mid to upper 30s. For the rest of the week, for your Veterans Day, daytime highs will be in the mid to upper 50s. Highs will remain in the low 60s for the weekend with light winds. Lows over the weekend will stay in the low 40s, upper 30s.
Vegas Nation brought to you by Station Casinos, STN Sports. Download the app today. With Raiders safety Jonathan Abram having been released by the team earlier this week, safety Isaiah Palomao was promoted to the active roster. Also, linebackers Denzel Perryman and Blake Martinez did not participate. Darren Waller, however, did get in a limited session. Here's what he had to say about how he is progressing.
It's got to be able to go through a whole practice. I mean, we practice almost like 2 full hours, and then being able to string multiple practice days in a row together before you step out there, play on the game. You can't just kind of just wait around and then just throw yourself out there on Sunday.
In your health news, sponsored by Boulder City Hospital, we're here for you when you need us. The Las Vegas chapter of Speedway Children's Charity is hosting its 9th annual Pajama 5K run and 1 mile walk this Sunday. Located at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, participants will run through the Glittering Lights display, which is Nevada's largest drive-through Christmas light show. Register online at the link on your screen or on site prior to the start of the race at 4:30 p.m. And don't forget to bring a new pair of children's pajamas for donation.
Sports brought to you by DNR House of Diamonds, luxury made affordable, located in downtown Summerlin.
Golden Knights wrap up their 5-game road trip with a journey to Buffalo on Thursday. It is the return of Jack Eichel for the second time playing against the Sabres. He, of course, got traded to the Golden Knights about a year ago from the Sabres organization. Had a long 6-year run there after being selected number 2 overall in 2015. Didn't quite ever work out for him or the team. They never made the playoffs together, but Eichel is really powering the Knights' hot start.
Sports betting brought to you by the Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. The disappointing NFC South Division gets the Thursday night football spotlight when the Falcons face the Panthers. Atlanta is a 3-point road favorite at the Westgate Superbook, and the total is 44. The Falcons are minus 155 on the money line, with Carolina at plus 135. These teams played October 30th, and Atlanta won 37-34 in overtime. The Falcons sit at 4-5 after losing to the Chargers last week. The Panthers are 2-7 and were blasted by the Bengals last time out.
In your entertainment news, the premiere of The Awakening production was a night to remember at the Wynn Las Vegas. Review Journal's John Katzlamides gives us some insight.
The show that Awakening is replacing at Wynn Las Vegas is the beloved Le Rêve, The Dream. The co-lead in Awakening is living her dream on the Strip. She's April Leopardi, and we've known her for about a decade in Las Vegas. First in Alice, a staged adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, and on to Vegas the Show and Zombie Burlesque. Leopardi is still having a tough time feeling calibrated in the show. She says she comes to work every day and I can't believe I'm here, she says. But she rocks it in the show, and that show is a visual masterpiece.
Thank you for joining us on 7 at 7. I'm Renee Summerhour. If you have an Amazon Fire TV, search Review Journal to download our channel. Watch Las Vegas breaking news streaming live on your OTT device. We'll see you back here later today for 7 at 7 p.m. from the Las Vegas Review Journal. Have a great day.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.